Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean,
I'm Johnny Cage.
I'm Missy.
I'm Tori.
and we're going to talk about Alien Earth. That's
Earth.
right.
Earth.
The FX Noah Hawley Alien miniseries just wrapped up this week. This will be a full spoiler discussion, folks. If you have not watched that final episode, do not listen to this. Just don't listen to this until you have.
Get the fuck out.
This will be thoughts on the final episode of the whole series. We were originally thinking about covering this weekly, but I got to tell you, it's really hard to do. Like Hell Motel broke me, so I couldn't do another one so soon, and it ended up being a good thing we didn't, and we'll get into that. But so first and foremost, Tori, give me some thoughts on. We haven't really talked. None of us have really talked about this. Like just the barest littlest amount. And so, Tori, what are your thoughts on the overall series, the way that it ended, yada yada yada?
So, my thoughts on Alien 10 Emily Saves Jurassic World is it's pretty fucking. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
You're not wrong. No, not at all.
Oh my God.
Did you say Amelie saves?
Amelie Saves Jurassic World.
That's
Oh my
perfect.
God.
That
It is. Wow.
perfect.
You know what, guys? Let's just stop now. Okay.
We're
Good
done.
night.
Mic drop.
Okay.
We're good.
Continue.
Okay, so this show is supposed to take place 2 years before our beloved sacred alien, that we all hail and love so much. And a ship fucking landing in a place and it's infected with stuff. I'm sorry, it's medicine. Um, I felt like it was really mid. Like I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
Okay.
It was enough for me to finish the series. Um, but I have gripes about it. And it's not necessarily I hate it, but I'm just mad at decisions they made. Um, I fucking love Alien. A lot, all of us do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak for
Yeah.
us on that. I think the fucking Alien is hands down to me the coolest monster design period
Agreed.
ever.
Agreed.
Um, I couldn't get past the suit. You mean to tell me like this is the biggest budgeted series ever on TV? Like had a budget this first season of $250 million. And like you could tell it was a dude in a suit at some point, and I
Yeah, you
couldn't
could.
fucking look past it. I thought I could, and then it was just like I beautiful mind that thing, and I was just like, no, I could see the seams.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so sorry, getting off track. This show's 2 years before Alien. Ship crashes into what somewhere in Southeast Asia, right? It's supposed to be Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's Earth. I don't know if they said where it was supposed to be, but sure, Southeast Asia.
New Siam, so I'm assuming
Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
Okay. And immediately brings in Utani, which is cool. And they establish a story that there's these other companies besides Utani, and they're all kind of fighting. And I really like that story. I thought it was cool, like doing this corporate espionage and getting more into that they didn't really touch on until Alien versus Predator, right? A lot more. The thing I can't get over with this show is regardless of your feelings of Prometheus and Covenant, it's fucking established canon, right? It's part of this rich, almost 50-year-old franchise saga. And then all of a sudden this show's just like, you know what? We're gonna forget about that. Like I have such a problem with that. All of a sudden you want to change this whole thing that we've all kind of established, regardless of our feelings. And I don't think they're necessarily horrible. But then just to erase all of that and to establish these other things. I don't know. I got super annoyed with that. I thought the tech, like, and I was really gung ho for the show. I was really excited at first too because I thought, oh, the tech, they. That's my problem is when a show is a prequel or something's a prequel. Sometimes the tech looks more advanced than it really
Yeah.
is, and
Well, it looks more advanced than in the first movie, right? Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So the first few episodes, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. And then as it goes on, I'm like, wait, we're in the past. How is this tech all of a sudden fucking better? How did we not? We already have this franchise and we know what's going to happen, right? But we didn't know by Alien 3 we could talk with fucking aliens. Like, no? Did that not bug anybody else? Was that
Well,
me?
wait. Alien 3 is the one I know the least because I hate it. Do they talk to aliens in Alien 3?
No, they
No.
don't.
Oh,
I'm
you're
just
saying
saying,
okay,
period.
I got it. I
There's
got it.
no, at no time in any of those movies has that been established or any kind of like inkling. There's been no, and all of a sudden to be like, yeah, they can fucking talk. And they look like tree frogs now.
What it's interesting. A friend of mine pointed out that he thinks that the Lost Boys are the precursor to, and I rewatched it recently, and I'll just say this right now. I love Alien Resurrection. I know there's tons of problems with it. It's my second
Love it.
favorite Alien. It's my
Love it.
second favorite Alien movie. It goes for me. It goes Aliens and Alien Resurrection, and then the original. I know it's blasphemy. It it just is. But a friend of mine's like, oh, the Lost Boys are. He's like, if you go back and watch Resurrection, there's a whole thing with Winona Ryder where when they figure out she's a synth, somebody's like, I thought all of you were destroyed. He thinks she's further along the timeline of the Lost Boy category of synth. And if you rewatch it, it could be. I mean, they don't say it, but if they decide to tie that in that way, it would. I think it would totally work. Uh, John, what do you think about what Tori's saying, and then your own thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of liked it. Um, I didn't love it. I liked it a lot more than Alien Romulus. We all know how I feel about Alien Romulus.
Hmm.
I can't lie to you about my feelings, but you have my sympathies. Um, I think there's a lot of problems that I have with Alien Earth, and we'll get to them. But I think where it shines is how it responds to Ash's speech in Alien, his final speech, which is to say that the xenomorph is not evil. It's just too hostile to coexist with us, and it sees our system as dangerous to its survival. And there's this when people are, I guess in this case, being other beings are faced with such a situation. There's this concept in psychology called permission structures, where they create permission structures that, in many cases, allows them to do heinous things. And Alien Earth, I think, locates that impulse in the human characters and also the beings that they create. And it's interested in how we build permission structures to commit violence and atrocities. And I think the show does that very, very well. The problem I have with Alien Earth is that it's very little atmosphere. It's mostly plot and clever ways to execute that plot with the help of some decent characters. That was kind of like decent rounded characters was a big relief for me after um, Prometheus, Covenant, and Alien Romulus. But atmosphere was one of the things that made Alien what it was, and as well as Aliens and Alien 3, despite all of its flaws. But that's largely absent here. And just to kind of address, I do disagree. I see, Tori, I see where you're coming from on the ignoring Prometheus and Covenant thing. There was also a part of me the whole way that was, at least in some parts, where I was just like, well, how do we know they didn't, ignore it? I mean, the Maginot, for all we know, could have had the Prometheus files, and sort of knew what it was looking for. But it just going along with what Noel Hawley has said, that they're going to jettison that and ignore it. The thing is, it's like I don't really dislike Prometheus and Covenant. I mean, they have interesting things to say. I don't think they're terrific, but they do have some interesting things to say. But I think Alien Earth's conception of the universe and the xenomorph species is sort of more in line with how I imagined that world to be the first time I saw Alien, and it's actually ends up being a much darker vision of humanity and Mother Nature, and it allows for us to make sort of this more grim assessment about where we are, and it also kind of highlights a little bit what I felt didn't work about Prometheus, which is that it's, for lack of a better word, it's too rosy and optimistic to be an alien film almost. So that's where I'm at with Alien Earth. Liked it, didn't love it. And Sean, I texted you as well, and afterward that all I was going to say is that it felt like an R-rated Jurassic World film.
I was like, oh, she's got blue. She's fucking got a pet. Okay,
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm sorry,
like
that was ridiculous.
I I love what you're saying about Ash and his speech, and they're these obviously these animals, but all of a sudden you can train it like a dog. I was
Yeah,
like, what?
that's
No,
so. It's like I don't know if anyone, any of you here remembers the Dr. Dolittle with Rex Harrison. He does that song "If I Could Talk to the Animals." There was like halfway through I started singing "If I Could Talk to the Xenomorphs."
that no, I was like, it's Amelie, it's Jurassic World, and it's fucking Dr. Dolittle. That's exactly what I thought of. Um, and yeah, like what you're saying about atmosphere, John, there was something like I couldn't put my finger on it, but like there's an air of goofiness going on in the show. Like all of the alien movies to me, like even Aliens when it's funny, it still has this seriousness about it.
It's dire.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
dire. And this, I don't know, it came off as like goofy in parts and almost like slapsticky. I don't know.
You know what
I
it is? I'll tell you right now what does that is the fucking needle drops, which I felt like is all anybody talked about for the first 3 or 4 episodes. Like any article I saw was like, let's talk about those needle drops. And it annoyed the fuck out of me. Because I like some of the songs, and then like you hit us with Godsmack, and I'm like, oh, well, first of all, you've just lost me completely, sir. Um,
it was
but
trying to
they,
be Yellow Jackets,
yeah, it was so
trying
not,
so
it
hard.
should not have been in this show at all. Like, I felt like that was just a
yeah.
huge misstep that
That
the,
opening track from Siamese Dream that they drop in at the end of episode 5, I'm like, why?
yeah.
You
And
know, Pearl
I don't
Jam
know.
verses, I'm like, why?
I know, and I will say, I don't know if anybody caught this. So they clearly couldn't get the rights to use Maggot Brain by Funkadelic, but they had their composer basically imitate it, and I think it was the third episode, and it pissed me off. I mean, it was so like, because somebody had told me, dude, they used Maggot Brain, and I'm watching the episode, and when that started, it wasn't the ending song. It was in the middle of the episode. I'm like, this isn't Maggot Brain, but it's totally imitating Maggot Brain. Like, it just annoyed me. I don't know. So the music, I think, really did it a disservice big time, and it gave, for me, that gave it a huge goofy. And I thought the last episode had the most atmosphere of any of the episodes because it had a dreamlike, languid quality, and then they kick it off. Which, admittedly, I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan, but a Pearl Jam
Oh
song I
God.
love. I love that song. Had no place in that episode. It was just, I mean, I'm like, you literally got to the end of the episode, and I was enthralled, and
And you blew
then
it.
it was just, I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like the it's like the producers are like, this is how we get those, middle-aged people. You put in a song right here. And
Well, yeah, because they were all from a certain time. Well, I'm
yeah.
thinking, Godsmack. I'm like, dude, nobody takes that band seriously. Why? Why?
I
Like,
I'll
was
tell
like, man, if my brother heard that right now, he'd be fucking like so excited.
I'll tell you where it did have atmosphere, and they just never did anything with it. The sheep.
oh,
That
best dude.
that sheep was like the best. Like that's why I thought episode seven was. I think episode seven and episode five were my favorite. I think episode seven was number one for me. I was so and episode six because I was just like this sheep is like put is an intelligent being that's putting all its chess pieces together and is going to, it's going to be the one that Mike drops on everyone. And they just they did nothing with that
Well,
setup.
it's clearly set up to go into the second season, and we'll talk about that.
Uh,
But that is the only reason the only thing that got me through the first three episodes to keep watching was the sheep. It was it. Like if it had not been in the show, I would have cashed out at episode three. Missy, respond to anything we've said and or tell us how you feel about the show, the ending, the sheep.
Okay.
John the sheep.
Um, I really liked it, and then the last episode, Real Monsters, I I loved it. I thought the episode was a banger, and I really, really had fun with this. Although I did not watch it week to week. I binged it in chunks. I think if I had tried to watch it week to week, I would have had trouble getting into it. Um, but because I binged it, I did not. Um, I always approach Alien warily because I love the original three, but I really don't need anything else. Um, and I hate Prometheus and Covenant. I like that they're kind of ignoring it and going in a different direction. It blends aliens with two other things that I love, Peter Pan and Shadowrun. It's got like this it's definitely got a cyberpunk vibe going on in it. Um, and I like that we focus more on the synths than the androids. I love the Wendy character and the Lost Boys and the fact that like they're adult actors, but they sound like children. They
Yeah,
feel
they do
like
a good
kids.
job.
I think I think the performances are really strong. And like I really like how they're doing the effects. Yeah, I noticed it's a suit, but I like monsters that are guys in suits. I think it looks really good, the alien suit. Um, I know. I think I like all the things you guys didn't.
It's better than the CG aliens in three by far. I'll take it. Absolutely.
That's like, oh,
Um,
$250 million. You couldn't give me a better. You couldn't just CGI out that seam real quick.
and my the one thing that does bug me is that the chest bursters burst too low. Like they look like they're coming out of Arthur's stomach. That bugged
Oh.
me. Uh, but otherwise, I mean, I think it looks pretty good, and I I don't know. I like that. I mean, all the alien movies explore the humans are really the monsters, but I like the synths rising up and embracing. We are the monsters. You should be afraid of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. I was a kid who grew up loving the Beastmaster and dinosaurs, and I like that she can talk to the creature. So I think it's a fun new direction, more fun than like the sterile android direction they were going in before.
But
I,
like sterile android makes more sense to me.
Never wanted that though. I wanted more with the monsters. That give me
I,
more creatures.
I see what you're both saying. It's like, again, I just, with the sterile androids, it's like that vision of the universe was just, again, too rose tinted. You know, I like the darker vision of this world, and I think it's a lot. I think it has a lot more to say to the present moment
It does.
Than
Yeah.
Prometheus and Covenant could. Um, and also, yeah, to your point, Missy, I think the lot. I think I'm curious what everyone's favorite Lost Boy was. I think mine was Slightly because I've always thought ever since I saw Ardesh Gurov in the film White Tiger, which everyone should watch on Netflix. That film is fucking awesome. Uh, he has the potential to play Sinister, and you can feel that here, just behind all of his childlike, nuh-uh,
Hmm.
that kind of attitude. Um, and yeah, and of course Nibs, we all love Nibs, but yeah.
I had a man. I hated the first three episodes. I mean, I hated them. If I were to rewatch this, I would not start at the beginning. Well, I might do that once just to see if I like them more now because five really turned it around. I loved five. That was the first episode where I was like, I love this. But then somebody pointed out, yeah, but you just like the episode that basically just retells Alien. I'm like, oh well,
Yeah.
you're right. Well, we'll see what six has in store. And six, I was like, okay, I'm still hanging on. And then, by then it's the sheep. And I will say, if listeners, if you haven't seen it, I got a chance to interview the sheep, so I'll put that link right here. Didn't really go very far, but um, but that was a character, but also that's the bigger piece that sold me was like we're not just dealing with the xenomorphs, which was obvious from the first three episodes because I'm like, show's called Alien Earth, there's no aliens, and then the one scene with the people in the fucking powdered wigs having the party, that was the shittiest fucking alien scene of all time because first of all, like the minute the guy answers the door, oh, they're just throwing us in here because somebody was like, oh shit, we're like two episodes in and we haven't even had like the aliens barely been in it. And then all the killing happens off screen. I mean, it was really, I thought, poorly done. Um,
It was up there with swimming aliens from Alien Resurrection. Sorry, Sean.
yeah, that's
That's
no, no,
that's atrocious.
that's one of the problems that movie has. But that movie has a bunch of shit that is so good. Like it affected me so much. Like there's a Frankenstein movie in that movie. There's just stuff that like I saw it in the theater when it opened, and I mean I still remember the viewing. So I'll just leave it like that. Um, but ultimately, I really ended up liking it, and I thought the last episode I really liked the way they did it. It was like just almost dreamlike and just very slow, took its time. I love the fact that we were kind of like stalking with the alien through the jungle. And I'm so happy, even though I love CCR's run through the jungle, like I thought for sure there was going to be a needle drop right there. And it would just shatter, the atmosphere, and they didn't do it. So thank you. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I ended up really liking it, and I hope it comes back again. And also, like Tori, to your point about, I like Prometheus. Covenant's fine. I don't know. I've watched it once. It's fine.
Yeah, they're whatever. Yeah.
But the thing with Covenant that pisses me off is the engineers were the most interesting thing in Prometheus, and Ridley Scott does what he always does. It's supposed to be Prometheus 2, and he's like, oh no, you know what? It's Alien Covenant, and just get rid of the engineers, and we'll focus on Fassbender. Stupid. I hate that aspect of the movie. Alien is notorious for killing off characters between movies. Like, it just bothers me. Um, but I don't feel like, and I think Noah Hawley's quote is, "We're ignoring it," which is to say, I think it's still canonical. I think it still impacts the Alien Earth continuity. I just think they're not going to deal with the engineers, and whether or not that will, if this went long enough, they might have to say, well, okay, we're either just going to completely eschew it, or we'll, end up dealing it in somehow. But I don't think that I think you can have this and still have Prometheus, and it works.
Like
Uh,
halfway, but halfway through, like I was just like, I could have fooled me.
Eh,
yeah. Um, and I would still like to see more about the fucking engineers. I mean, I just feel like Prometheus, also a flawed movie, signs a big check and it's never been cashed, and it just pisses me off because the whole point of Prometheus was to sign that check. You know, the space jockey, and then Ridley Scott just keys dangle in another direction, shaped like Michael Fassbender, and he's like, oh. So I don't know. Who am I
power
to
of the
question?
fast bender, man. You see
Yeah,
them
I guess
cheek
so.
bones.
I have a question for everyone here from one Mr. Fortune, which is
Okay.
that say this this was it, like didn't come back, you know, does does it work as a standalone for you? Just and the example he used, and I cringe when I say this, the example he uses like Stranger Things 1 and 2. Like, what if it was just those two, you know, that would work as a standalone? You know, would just a season of Alien Earth be okay as a standalone for you?
Well, yeah, because even if a second one comes on, I'm not watching
Mm,
Really?
it. I'm not, it's
fair enough.
there. I shouldn't have to rely on a fucking sheep to keep me interested in the next week.
Well, true, but that's a damn. It's a charismatic sheep, Tori. I mean,
Eh,
let's.
I was like, if this motherfucker talks English, I'm throwing my something at the TV.
I want a sitcom that's that sheep and Black Phillip living in a
Uh-huh.
Malibu apartment with a weird landlord, and maybe like a
Pat
hooker that they take in and try to hide from the landlord. Something I don't know.
and passing a
Oh
bong
man.
back and forth on the couch.
Yeah, which we should say hello, Miles. So that's Miles Fortune from John's other podcast. This movie saved my life.
Hi,
So
Miles.
if you've not listened to that, please go listen to it. You guys love that podcast. Missy,
Okay. Um, I think I mean, if it was just this season, I could watch it as a long movie and enjoy it. That's kind of how I feel about it right now. And in answer to John's question about the Lost Boys, I like Wendy the best. She's the first one to really embrace that we're not, that they're not the children they used to be. They're not the adults that they look like. There's something in between, and like she's embracing her inner monster, and I
yeah.
dig it.
Tori, did you want to weigh in on the Lost Boys?
Um, I I don't even know. I honestly I was annoyed with all of them for probably till about episode 5.
Same.
But I had to keep reminding myself they're children. Um, and then even then, I thought the actors were playing them like younger than they were supposed to be, which then kind of annoyed me more. Um, but I like the redhead because she kind of snaps at the end.
Nibs.
Yeah, she
Nibs.
kinda.
But
Um,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. This out of if you, all 10 Alien movies series, this is my least favorite.
Okay. I would have to say this would not work alone because of the end of the final episode. And if there's one thing I have to see, and I'm upset that they didn't do, I want to see the boy genius either infected by the eye or brutally, like, give me an hour-long episode where they slowly remove his skin a la Martyrs. Like, I fucking hate him.
I
I
fucking
mean,
hate this man.
I hate him. I hate him so much. And I know that's the point. So he did a wonderful job. This could have I felt like the end of the episode was a misstep because it could have planted its flag and been, hey, you know what, we can go on or we don't have to, but this is a solid standalone thing. And the end of this episode says this is not a solid standalone thing. We're not tying anything up. You know, I mean, dude, the last thing we see with Arthur is the eye infects him and he sits up on the beach, right?
Mm.
That can't be the end of that.
pissed me off, man.
Yeah,
I was like, how the fuck did the eye get over there that quick?
if it's a standalone series, you can't do shit like that and leave it like it just doesn't fucking work. So no. And I think Smee was my favorite Lost Boy. John?
Nice. I think I had a question about Nibs though, because like this was like there was a couple things and this was something that got repeated, but just kind of like the sheep, they never did anything with it. Like this, I'm not saying necessarily this would have fixed the show, but if it had been 10 episodes instead of 8 and they at least gave it some room to explore some of these ideas more, maybe I would have liked it a little more. But one of the ideas that just kind of got dropped was Nibs exploring this concept about being a ghost. Like, I don't want to be a ghost. And then later, it's like she says like, what do ghosts do? And I was like, okay, this is interesting, an interesting conversation to be had in the middle of the monster movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't do anything with it.
Well, I feel like they kind of did because the whole thing was like ghosts. Basically, what I took was Wendy's like, "What do ghosts do? People are afraid of ghosts."
Hmm.
And then her like she doesn't say that, but she says, "What do ghosts do?" And she said, I forget what Nib says, and then Wendy says, "Well, we've been afraid of
Me says,
them, but I think they need to be afraid of us."
hmm
And so that's I think that's I think the ghost analogy is like we need to shake things up. We need them to be afraid of us, like
Gotcha.
ghosts. But I
Gotcha.
that's
feel
how I
like
took it.
the way I took it initially was something much more interesting because I thought it was going to go somewhere else, and then it didn't. It landed on that, which was fine. But then also somehow, after she said that magically, she could control every single fucking thing on the island with the wave of a hand. And if you think talking to the aliens was a convenient plot device, that was. I'm like, where did that come from? When did that happen? Like
I'm a
literally,
human computer.
there was no setup for that until they needed it. And I was just like, well, wow, okay. I mean, like, just superimpose your final draft page over the screen because I can see your fucking writing. It was total, DOS ex machina. So that bugged the fuck out. I mean, it ended up working. I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, but they should have, they didn't earn that at all, in my opinion. That was just like, okay, she could even control the bald dude. Like what? That made no fucking
Yeah, he
sense.
was kicking her ass, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna control
It
you."
made it made zero sense, and it was just convenient writing. It just was not earned at all. Like,
The
oh, gotta
um
wrap this up.
and the other thing they mentioned about Nibs that, well, I mean, they could probably explore it in the next if they do another season, but how they mention you knew she had trauma beforehand, and there'd be a problem if we changed her, but right before they like rebooted her memory and erased some of her memories, um Essie Davis, the doctor, she like mentions that Nibs has had this like traumatic childhood before she becomes Nibs. So like I heard that and I was like, cool, this is gonna lead up to something, and nothing. But again, maybe next season they'll go more into the backgrounds of the characters and before they were implanted in their new bodies.
Maybe they'll bring in Joel McHale.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry.
Talk soup forever. Fuck you. I love that show.
Wait,
Did
I
you ever
don't think
watch him on Talk Soup?
no,
Joel
we're
McHale?
talking about two different things.
Oh.
One of your complaints about Yellow Jackets this season, which I loved, was that I remember you were like, where the hell did Joe McHale come from? So I had to bring that up.
God. Like, what the fuck Yellow Jackets, man.
I just heard your brain like hiccup with rage. Um,
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be my next David Gordon Green. Just kidding.
so John, so I'm taking it for you as to Miles's question. It doesn't work as a standalone.
No, no, no. It's like I when at the end of episode 7, I thought that it could. Like I
Yeah.
thought, I saw a lot of potential ways that it could, and especially if things like ended in a very grisly kind of way um for Boy Cavalier, and but it didn't. Because it would have been an interesting little sort of bookend with Arthur, who kind of is positioned as this ambiguous moral center of the
Hmm.
show.
Hmm.
Um, and just sort of how horrible, because it's like the whole time it's like, you know what's going to happen to him, but you you also know it's like, fuck, this is a good person, like why could it not have been, Boy Cavalier, or somebody from Wayland Yutani or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and actually, that's another reason it doesn't work as a standalone because we literally see the Weyland Yutani ships coming in. Do they ever arrive? I mean, literally, like it's clearly it's clear, and I think Noah Hawley's being kind of coy about a second season, which is probably smart because FX, he's probably just doing that as a defense mechanism in case FX just is like, fuck you. But clearly, like he must be banking on a second season as far as continuity wise because this just. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same thing. Like even three-quarters of the way through this episode, I thought they could wrap this up, and they just instead leave a whole shit ton of floating stuff. So
Pretty ballsy.
I'm going to be right there with Tori if there's a season two. Unless like people are like my phone is blowing up saying, like they've really turned the ship around and this is something absolutely incredible. You know, Tori and I are just going to be, hanging out at a bar drinking beer
Woohoo!
while you sad motherfuckers are watching season two.
We're gonna be watching Skinamarink while you fuckos. I'm just kidding.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, Tori.
I like him.
well, if you watch it at a bar with the sound off in the, that's fine. You wouldn't be at all like I feel like. So my thing is, and maybe it's because it totally rose from the ashes because I hated it and then I got invested. So like I'm invested, so I will definitely watch a second season. I might, piss and moan through some of it, but
First of all, fuck Hulu. Second of all,
yeah. Well, there won't
um,
be any Hulu by the time Hulu's going away.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It made me. I felt like Holiday, whatever his name is kind of like, well, you guys are stupid for the most part, so let me bang out an Alien series for the rest of you fucks that don't really know the show. That's how I felt. So yeah, I don't want. I feel like a second season is just going to make me mad and actually start hating it. Um, I just really wish it would take a cue from the Predators, writers, and
Yes.
they're so like they've been so far, um, so dedicated to that fucking story and loyal. And I wish
Wait,
this
which Predator
not
movies are
loyal,
we
but
talking about? Because I don't know that all of them were loyal.
not loyal, but they're I don't know.
I mean,
I feel
Predator
like
has a
they
worse track record, in my opinion, by far, than Alien.
which one?
Agreed.
Put some
Uh,
shit on. Don't talk about Danny Glover.
I mean,
Predator 2 is awesome. I'm sorry.
Predator 2
it
is
has its,
fucking
it has its
awesome.
moments, but it's. I mean, in my opinion, it's not until Trachtenberg gets involved that Predator actually gets a worthwhile sequel. The rest are like, it's like fair to middling. Like, okay, two. What's three? I don't even know what three is.
I don't count the Olivia Munn one, but I'm just
Wait,
saying
did
for the
Olivia Munn made a Predator movie?
Predators. She's in Predators or The Predator. She's in The Predator.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah,
Don't.
that
I
It's
haven't
wasn't.
fucking
seen that
crap.
either.
It's disgusting. But I don't know. I wish they would have taken a cue more from Predator than what they did with this.
But both franchises, I gotta say, and I've thought this for years, and it's not until recently, like I feel like maybe it's turning around, but I just look at both monsters and Predator, the original, and then like the first two Alien movies, and even if I like four Prometheus or whatever, I'm just like, I don't understand. It's gold. You don't even have to do that much. It's fucking nightmare fuel. just the most perfunctory shit. But it's a big studio property, and the big studios always fuck it up. They always have their hands in the pie, and they always fuck it up every time, guaranteed. So it
Mm-hmm.
seems like now with Predator, we're over that. Maybe like Badlands will,
Oh, I saw
Missy.
Badlands.
Well, we'll see. It's Trachtenberg, so we'll see.
That fucking
Um,
mask, though.
eh. Missy, talk more about Alien Earth. Did are you sad that Will Smith wasn't there to punch one in the face and say "Welcome to Earth"? Because I was.
No.
That would have made it
No.
interesting.
He could have punched Chris Rock in the face and said "Welcome to Earth," and I would have been happy.
No, I don't know. I think that like I would definitely watch another season of it. I had fun with it. Um, I think I was just happy that I didn't get what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it, and I mean, as far as her being able to control the cameras and everything, that was another thing that felt Shadowrunnish to me. She almost felt like a technomancer. Um,
But do you
where
feel
like
like that was earned though? Like, didn't that just? I felt like it came out of nowhere.
well, I mean, this is the first time we're dealing with something like them, though. They're human kids in these enhanced
Right.
superhero synthetic bodies, and they're I mean, they're still figuring out what they can do and who they are.
I mean, I guess I just feel like so the other synths can't do it, but the only difference here is that they're a kid, yeah, and I like the fact that they never landed on whether or not they are actually the kids, right? Like it could just be the computer, the AI replicating the personality,
Right,
and it's not the kids. And I like the fact that they never clearly defined it, and I have a feeling they never will. They show you the graves enough to let you know, like, might not be them. And
right.
they're even aware of it, right? She says something. I don't remember. I can't quote it. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, well, if she can do it, why can't the ball guy do it? I mean, it's the same body, it's the same tech. So what is it about? But maybe I don't know. Maybe like you
How come
said,
Winona Ryder couldn't do it?
maybe she could. We don't know.
I just feel like she's just trying shit. She's just trying shit and realizing she can do it. The other ones haven't started thinking that way yet. I think if they go into a season two, that they might start realizing they can do more than they think they can.
Well, are you talking about the other Lost Boys? Or are you talking about the other
Yeah,
synths?
the
Because
other Lost Boys.
I feel like Kirsch is obviously been around a while, right? So, and I feel like he would, if he could do that, he would know he could do that. So I'm not.
Hirsch,
Right,
I'm
but he's an android.
yeah,
No,
They
he's a
have
synth.
no, Kirsch is they even talk about it in the last episode because they're like, Kirsch, aren't you worried because the kids are more advanced than you? You're obsolete
right.
technology.
Wait.
He's an
So
android,
Yeah.
and
The Lost Boys are the only synths in the whole show. They're hybrids. So Morrow is a cyborg, Kirsch is an android, and the kids are fucking hybrids, synths.
and the bald guy
Is a droid.
yeah,
He's father. He's the first
he
droid.
doesn't have a human he doesn't have a human psyche.
no, I know
I
none of
think
them have
that's
the human
why they can
psyche.
do I think that's why these kids are figuring out that they can do more than they thought they could. Human brains think different than computers.
My understanding, okay, that makes sense. I like that, but my understanding is that so we've got synths like Bishop, right? Or what?
Okay, no, all right, all right.
See, I think those are
Bishop,
androids.
Bishop, Kirsch, they're droids. They're just robots. Then you
Right.
have Morrow. Morrow's a cyborg.
Cyborg.
He's a human with
Enhanced.
A human
enhancements.
right.
And then you have hybrids, which are the synths, and those are droids with a human
Yeah.
consciousness uploaded.
No, I get that.
The only synths are the kids.
But physically, so there is no difference physically between Bishop and the kids,
Right.
but mentally, so it's the same.
Correct.
It's the same hardware. That's what I mean. Like they are the same thing, except for the kid aspect, but body wise, it's not like it's a different technology. It's just
Yeah,
as if you took Bishop, wiped his mind, and put Wendy in Bishop, right? Like
correct.
it's basically so they're basically the same
The
technology.
bad guy from RoboCop 2. That's what they are.
But I like that. I like that idea, Missy. That like the kids think differently. That's why they're able
Right.
to do these things.
Up until now, there's never been anyone like them.
Right.
I think that's why they're able to do some of these things that we've never seen any of the other like android type characters do.
See, I'll give you that, but controlling the cameras and all that, and then being able to talk to your brother when he's in the city and you're on, yeah, it's pushing it.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but I like what you said, Missy. That at least it shaves a little bit of my cynicism off. Like, and talk about the Shadowrun thing. So I know Shadowrun is like a cyberpunk video game, but that's all I know.
Well, I mean, it's
Not video
it's
game,
also
role playing
it's a
game.
tabletop role playing game like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's in a
Right.
cyberpunk world. So think a world more like Blade Runner.
Okay.
Oh, the Blade Runner references in this fucking show, I'm like, you guys are really
Well,
doing the Ridley worship.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, that it did kind of feel like they wanted to try to bring the two worlds together.
Yeah, for
It
I
sure.
fully
didn't
expected
work.
that. I
Kersh
thought
Yeah,
for
so did
sure
looks,
I.
that. So there's five corporations, and we know of two of them, Utani and Prodigy, right? So
Hmm.
obviously Prodigy isn't going to last. And they say at the very beginning of it, it says in the future, the race for immortality will be, five corporations, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Now, first of all, the five corporations, I have to believe is a Fugazi reference because it's like one of my favorite
Mm.
Fugazi songs is Five Corporations. And
Okay.
I just have to believe it's a Fugazi reference. Uh, and where was my Fugazi needle drop? Um, Ian Mackay was like, no. But
I'd be so
one
mad.
of one of the five corporations has got to be what's the Blade Runner Corporation?
Tyrell, no,
Tyra.
I'm sure at this point they got bought out by Wayland Yutani.
But there's got to be some reference at some point because they've talked about like bridging the gap, and I just was
Well,
surprised
okay,
that there was no reference.
no, okay, but so the show's 2 years before Alien. If you watch Alien, Captain, what's his name? He mentions the Blade Runner Corporation.
Does
So it
he?
couldn't have been bought out by them. Yeah.
He mentions Tyrell. Dallas mentions Tyrell.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go look this up. That's kind of trippy.
And there's another reference in another Alien movie. I forget which one. And he's like, he mentions a pyramid in Los Angeles. So it's supposed to be another reference to like Blade Runner being in that universe. So, I mean, if Dallas is mentioning 2 years later the Tyrell, or he worked somehow for Tyrell, then maybe it's still around.
Well, the five corps they called out in the show were Wayland Yutani, Prodigy, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
remember that they named them all. Nice.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
work.
the
I wrote it
intro,
down.
right?
What?
They mention it like right in the intro.
Yeah. That's one of the things that feels Shadowrunny to me too, because everything is controlled by these big corporations.
Right. Well, that is where we're going. That was
That's real
also,
life.
I mean,
That's
that
not.
was also, I think, so I just Googled that, and so I'm just saying, so no, the film Alien does not contain any direct references to Tyrell. However, connections were established through an Nostromo dossier. This DVD extra, released with the 1999 Alien 20th Anniversary Edition, reveals that Captain Dallas once worked for the Tyrell Corporation, the company that creates replicants in Blade Runner. Because I'm like, I don't remember him referencing, and it's possible that I've forgotten it, but like, so I think you've seen an extra and you're integrating it into the movie, which I do all the fucking time. So, okay, final thoughts.
I think it's fun, and they're using a mix of practical and CGI, but they're using the CGI more for enhancements, and they're doing practical when they can. I dig it. I'm enjoying it.
I didn't think it would get more ham-fisted, the references to Alien, after I heard Andy's quote from Alien Romulus. And then they said, with those things running around and stay frosty in Alien
Yeah.
Earth. And yeah, I was proven wrong. They did.
Oh
They
my
went
God,
there.
I thought the
They really
same
went there.
thing. And
Oh
Stay
man.
Frosty sounds so cool in Aliens, and it just did not sound that cool in this at all. That's so funny. Tori, final thoughts?
Um, skip it.
I think
It's
you could.
to me, it didn't. I don't know. It didn't do enough for me to want to care anymore. I love the franchise. I love Alien. I refuse. I won't watch this again or a second season because I don't want it to be ruined.
Fair. Um, I would definitely say the thing about this that impressed me the most, that kept me going when I hated it, was not the alien stuff. It was like the eye and like the some of the like the corporate espionage stuff. But it also pissed me off because I was like, but when you call your show Alien Earth and every poster is an alien coiled around the planet Earth, I expect a little bit of it, or more than a little bit of alien. Like, it's fine to character build and explore the world, but like it was getting on my tits quite a
Yeah.
bit. So I think Alien fans can totally skip it, and it's not going to be a big deal at all. Um, but if you're interested, I say give it a shot and just know. I don't know if you'll be like me, but I had to struggle through those first 3 episodes because I just. And you know what my big problem with the first episode was? Michael Smiley shows up, right? He's in it for fucking 2 minutes, and then the next like 4 episodes, I'm like, who the fuck is Michael Smiley? How do you put Michael Smiley in 2 minutes of your fucking show and then not use him again? And so when we get to 5 and Michael Smiley came back around, I think that did a lot for me because I was so perplexed, and I was irrationally like, I should have been thinking, of course they're going to go back and show us this stuff and use him again, of course. But I was just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I think you could totally skip it. I enjoyed it. I will watch a second season. It's definitely not essential. But then again, is anything after Aliens? No,
Not really.
no, it's not.
Everybody go fuck yourself because Alien 3.
Nope, nope. I've
No,
tried, and I'll try again. I'll try again. I'm sure at some point. But goddamn, do I hate that
I'll
fucking movie?
die on that hill. I don't give a fuck.
Hate
I'll
that
watch.
movie.
Give me all your
How I
cop. Give
feel
me the
about
world's
Resurrection.
copies. I love
Hate number 3.
Resurrection too.
I
Love them
hate
all.
Resurrection. I love the first three, and I still say Alien 3 was it's it's not what I originally wanted, but I think it's a good end to Ripley's story. I dig that one.
It's
Okay.
so bleak. Oh yeah,
It's
another
bleak,
add-on.
but I like it.
If you watch Alien Earth, pay no mind to the fucking cowl. Just don't look at the God, that budget, you couldn't get it right.
All right. Well, that's Alien Earth, and I'm Will Smith.
I'm John Bender.
I'm still just Missy.
And I'm Tires from space with the fucking alien eyeball.
Nice.
Nobody watched Space, you guys?
I did.
I did.
Tires. I was like, no.
Hapless teenagers beset by demons in the woods. A strange new drug that turns art into murder.
is no restart.
A video game that might usher in the apocalypse. From the demented mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires, Shadow Play, and Murder Virus, comes Volume 4, collecting Baker's no sleep work along with several never-before-published short stories. This 99-cent volume also includes the opening chapter of the author's forthcoming teenage giallo novel, Black Gloves and Broken Hearts, due out later this year.